Hello and welcome to the Claret and Blue podcast. I'm your host, Dan Rolinson, joined by John Townley for the Manchester United Fan Zone. And before we start on Manchester United, it feels like a million years ago to me that we played West Ham United. That was only on Sunday, but I know we've been busy this week. It just feels like ages ago.
Does it?
Yeah, like the churn of the weekend midweek. To not have a midweek, so I don't really know what to do with myself.
For me, it does feel quite recent, to be fair, Dan. Maybe you've got other things going on.
Maybe. Ooh, is that a little tease, John? No, we have been busy. Obviously, we did the Hockley live show Monday, which is only the day after West Ham.
True.
I spent all of Tuesday editing the Christmas special and then putting the finishing touches on most of Wednesday. It's Thursday afternoon as we record this, so we're still a few days away from the game. But I don't know, something in my head just feels like that. Before we started, I was about to say to you, like, who do we play at the weekend? Just remind me quickly. And before I even had to say that, I remembered. It just I don't know, it feels like a lot's happened between now and then.
Yeah, no, absolutely, that's true. I'm in a bit of pain, Dan. Do you want to know why? I feel like you'll laugh. Yeah, I'm going to bring it up because I feel like you're going to laugh.
Okay.
Or you'd laugh at the video, which I'm actually going to try and source. So I fell off a treadmill yesterday.
Oh, no.
And, yeah.
While it was on, I assume.
Yeah, it was just so embarrassing. I've never been so embarrassed in my life. I've actually tried to take my jumper off. Like, I don't like treadmills, not because I have bad experiences on them, but this was obviously one of them now. Going along, and I'm like, I'm a bit hot now, so I try and take my jumper off. And the next thing I know, I'm it's like I'm walking on the moon, like nothing's there. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then I'm boom, straight on the floor. And I've my back's a bit out of place, I think. So,
goodness me.
Yeah, not good. But I'm going to email them and say, can I get the footage of this? Because
please do. I will delay this episode coming out to try and get the footage.
Oh no, it doesn't give it point. Then I'm going to have to look at it first. And if it's too embarrassing, it's not going anywhere.
If nothing else Sunday, if everything else goes wrong about the game, at least we can all watch you fall off a treadmill. We didn't see you fall off a chair in the Christmas special, which I'm sure we'll plug later. But falling off a treadmill, that's pretty rough. Was it? Were you going? Was it a light jog? Was it a sprint? What speed were you falling off there?
It was just a normal jog, neither a light jog or a sprint or anything like that. I was going at like reasonable pace, but just not good. It was so embarrassing. There's two people like trying to get out or get in of the gym. And I'm there on the floor, like, looking up at them, and they're looking at me like, "What are you doing?" And it's part of the routine. I'm listening to something, so I don't know if I either made a noise or if someone said like, "Whoa, you're right." I've just carried on. I should have run home. I've run on the treadmill afterwards. So.
Goodness me! Right, shall we talk about some football? Hopefully, Villa don't slip up against Man United at the weekend and end their 9-game winning run across all competitions, 6 in the Premier League. Chance to make it 7 and 10. We are going to get to some fan comments shortly. There's a few bits and pieces in the mailbag that, I will be honest, a lot of them, I've picked, 6 or 7. A lot of them are along the same kind of theme. Surely, John, they're not very good. They're missing some players, but they are on form. They're at home. Surely, this only leads to one outcome. However, we know football is not as simple as that, right?
Firstly, when we say they're not that good, no, but they're better than where they were.
Yeah, so, true. But they're still not as good as us.
No, and we've beaten them once under Unai Emery. And, well, here's the stat for you. Villa have won just one of their last 26 Premier League home games against Man United.
That is just beating them 3-1
in Emery's first match. And that was November 2022. And obviously, Emery's first match, there's so much that's happened between now and then. So much has happened at United as well. And we still haven't beaten them since then. It's mental.
We spoke about it a bit at the live show. I don't know whether it made the edit or not, because obviously we only produced a little kind
of... You edited it.
Yeah, I know, but we didn't use it all. But like, they've changed massively over the last 26 home games, so have we. We've been poor in that time, and they've been good. And I said before, if Fergie was still there, you go, well, he's got something over us. Or if, I don't know, this was still the Martin O'Neill era, and like it's a long period, and like that's the reason why. Yeah. But they've had different managers, different players. We've had the same, different ownership, different division. Now we're back in the Premier League. The fact that we've still never been able to shake this hoodoo, this jinx against this one specific club, I just can't get my head around it.
United have won 41 Premier League games against Villa, 18 of them coming away from home, and only in Premier League history is one team had a better record against another, which is Man United against Everton. So Everton are actually worse than us in terms of facing Man United. So a bit of it's not relief at all. Just on United as well, they've only lost I'm going to have to work this out now, one of their last 10, I think, matches in the Premier League, which I think has gone under the radar a little bit. The one thing you would say about United this season, if nothing else, they are entertaining for a neutral. Only entertaining when they lose, to be fair. But there are lots of goals in their games, usually, and it's back to front. I mean, the last match was a 4-4, wasn't it? It's going to be an intriguing game. We'll get onto some other kind of elements later on that are specific to the match specifically. But Man United in general, I don't think they are as bad as what some people view them to be. So they haven't lost many games of late. So they lost at home to Everton, didn't they? But then the game that they lost before that was back in September 27th, which is 3-1 away to Brentford. So they're not a terrible team. And I think for us as a fan base, we're aware that Man United could be a terrible team. They could be 20th or whatever it may be, and they would still come up with something to play Villa. So we know that this is going to be a big test for us, and surely is the word that I think everyone will be using going into the game.
All right, let's dive into the mailbag then. Let's answer some questions. Do you want to pick me a topic, please, John?
Yeah, let's start with tactical or mental.
Hi, Dan and John. If Villa were... it took me a couple of seconds to get my head around this. If Villa were playing away against a team this weekend whose home record was amazing, including beating Arsenal, Man City twice, Bayern and PSG in recent times, and we had at least 3 of our first 11 players out, we'd give Villa no chance. So why do we all feel so nervous about Manchester United? What do we need to do tactically or mentally to win? Is there any part of this that is mental? This record of when it is mental? Is there any part of the record that there is just this thing of we as Aston Villa Football Club, as a fan base, know that this is a really annoying fixture? Because the league will look at this as, well, they're missing a couple of players because of AFCON. They've just had a 4-all. They can be got at. You're right, they're better than people give them credit for, but there's still something wrong there. Yeah. Villa are they're in a title race, aren't they? Surely Villa at home, like everyone will look at Villa as, if we mess this up, as how have you messed that up? But we know as a fan base that this absolutely can go wrong.
Brings me back to the final day of last season when everybody going to that game, you got it on the radio. Every single person I spoke to on that day, including people from Villa, it was, they'll be all right. You've got to understand it's never this simple. No. And yeah, in the end, we actually probably should have, but I don't want to delve back into that. 2 things on that question. The first one, in terms of, well, surely if we were in United's position, we would give ourselves, no chance. I think it's just an expectation thing with Man United that they still see themselves as a club who should be competing for the major honours and the major titles. Because even at the start of every season, you always hear people still talk about Man United as, well, can they get close? Can they bridge a gap? But it's never talking about Brighton or Bournemouth.
Yeah. This is Manchester United we're talking about.
Yeah, and even earlier today, I don't watch it too often. The YouTube video dragged me in. It was Carragher on Salah, and I wanted to listen to that because I like Carragher. But the overlap, the one they do, Neville and Man United, isn't it?
Yeah, stick to football.
Yeah, Roy Keane said something along the lines of, "Oh, and they got Villa at the weekend. That'll be interesting." And it struck me a little bit with the question that you've just asked there from Mark in Cheshire, where it's like, if that's us, we don't say that's interesting. We say, "Geez, that would be proper difficult." Like, can we escape with something? Like, you automatically go into that feeling of, probably not going to win this weekend then. But I just think with United, there's always an expectation that they can. And to be fair, for reason as well, because whenever they play clubs who are expected to be up there, I always feel like they're in the game, or usually anyway. Like, for example, early this season, a bit different this season, I guess, but they beat Liverpool at Anfield, which is a huge result for Man United. They beat Chelsea, of course, earlier this season as well. Just in other previous campaigns, like, they'll get a draw at Anfield when you don't expect it. They'll beat City or compete well when you don't expect it. When if that was another team who had lost 5 of the last 6 or whatever form they went into those games with, they would just get turned over. So it is a different sort of a mentality, I think. But for us, we talk about how us fans always expect the worst when it's Man United, but we're not playing on the pitch. Like, these players, for example, Amadou Onana, Yuri Tielemans, they'll be thinking maybe, we didn't beat United last season. But they don't think of one winning however many games. So, yeah, I don't think it's as big as we make out in terms of the mentality of the game. The players will just play the match. But for us, we feel it a lot because we've gone through a lot of suffering down the years from them.
Okay, ping me something else from the mailbag. As I say, some of these will overlap and we'll probably feel like we've already spoken about it, but maybe a slightly different angle, depending on which one you pick.
Okay, I'll go for I'm no tactical genius. That's the headline.
Do you want to pick one from the fan zone, John? Or...
classic, yeah.
Christ, that took a while. Right, this one is from Simon Dawkins. So we all know how badly we've done against three at the back. I'm no tactical genius, but went through the Palace game and paused the screen a lot, and it seems like the main issue is, bear with me, if a team pushes the fullbacks up high, that occupies Cash and Dean. And if their 2-10s start behind Kamara and Nana, it means the opposition always outnumber our defence. Is it really this simple? That said, it seems like a lot of the most informed United journalists are reporting Amorim has been working on them changing to a 4-3-3, and my instincts are that that's because Ahmad and Mbeumo will be at AFCON. Surely, in capitals, if we are ever going to beat United, it's when they are between formations. Don't do it, Simon Dawkins. And their best attacker is gone. Is the three at the back thing? I mean, we've seen Villa absolutely. I was going to say, is the three at the back thing a thing? It is. We've had poor results against teams that play it.
Yeah.
But is this shift of Man United changing it? Will that have any impact, do you think?
It's an interesting dynamic, and I think it's something that Emery will be asked about in his press conference, and not necessarily going to give an amazing answer that we'll all kind of pour over. But United playing three at the back for so long under Amorim, and him getting battered over the head really with why aren't you changing it? Why are you so stubborn? And him saying, this is my way. If I ever change, then something's gone wrong, or you can question me as a person, or whatever it may be. But then he did change it to 4 in parts against Bournemouth. So that's a really interesting dynamic. And to be honest, I don't really want to be the team that comes up against a United side who have then changed the way that they're playing, because how do you prepare for that? So it's kind of two ways to that. Either if they do go to a 4 to play us, then, for them, they're not going to be suited to that necessarily, because for the last year or something, they've been playing a different way. But then I would argue professional footballers, formations are just more so out of possession these days, aren't they? Everything's pretty fluid, but United have been quite rigid in the three at the back approach. For us preparing for the match, I'm interested to see how Emery's going to cope with that, because I don't think we know exactly what they're going to do now, because he has kind of shown signs now, Amorim, that he is going to change. And he was asked about it after the game, and he kind of said, he didn't want to give much away, but he said, this is something that you guys are going to talk about, and smiled. So yeah, they definitely did. But how they play against Villa, I don't know. Whether it's something that they do because of, as the question says, Ahmad and Mbeumo not being there. So that's essentially their right side. Not available for the Villa game. I mean, I would definitely have changed it before now, but Amorim is, he's stuck in his ways. This is his way of playing football, but then he goes and changed it partially for the match against Bournemouth. So interesting. Yes, interesting indeed. Pick me another topic, please, John. Okay, let's go for no striker. No striker. This is from Brian. Hi guys, long-time listener, first-time mail bagger. Firstly, great show. I've really enjoyed 2025 listening to you guys. I want to wish you happy Christmas and New Year. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. My question is, are we comfortable that Morgan Rogers is our top goal scorer? Is it 5 goals, 5 assists in the league, I think? I want to keep this positive, but it's my only reservation about Villa at the moment. Your thoughts, please. I want to couple this actually with the second one, 30-yard worldies from Wilfred Boomer, highlight of the Christmas quiz. Do you think Ollie isn't scoring as much as the team are smashing 30-yard worldies, or do you think the team are smashing 30-yard worldies because Ollie isn't making the same runs? So I want this to be a bit of a Watkins section, but without hammering it too much, because I feel like we do it every single episode. Part of me says, I'm not really fussed who is the name next to Aston Villa's top goal scorer, as long as they've got a good amount of goals. If your top scorer has about 3 come the end of the season, you're in big trouble. Yeah. If Morgan Rogers is our top scorer with 19, brilliant. I don't care whether it's him or John McGinn or whoever, right? It's that player has scored 19 goals. But I get the point is, he's not your striker. And your striker generally should be your top scorer. So that is a problem, and we've spoken about it to death. If Watkins isn't going to score a chunk of goals this season, it's going to be very difficult for us to finish in the Champions League place via the league, or even win the Europa League. Don't get me wrong, we can do those things, but it's going to be hard. The goals that Watkins has scored, down the last couple of years for Villa, 3 years now, under Emery anyway. In my head, I'm talking that goal at the Vitality when he got his 75th, I think, for Villa in the league to overtake Gabby. That little deft flick that no other player in the team can do that, because it's Rodgers putting the ball in the box. I just think you need something from your striker to nick a game, or away from home, pick something up. So that's been Rodgers so far. I don't want to use the word sustainable. Is that sustainable that Rodgers scores your match-winning goal in almost every away game? I don't think it is. Hell, it could be, but it's if you told me right now Rodgers is going to be a top scorer, you say they're done with, let's say 12 goals or 13 goals. Okay, well, really, you want
decent, probably not enough to be top scorer unless there's 6 other players on 13.
Exactly, and I don't think there will be because I don't think we have enough goals to spread around. Last season, it was Watkins and Rodgers, far and away with our most contributions. And I remember doing wrapping up the USA tour and saying that these 2 players were sort of main scorers in pre-season as well. Marlon's looking sharp, but we need a bit more. And I thought maybe that would come through from Gesson, and it hasn't, and I don't think it will. So how can Villa remedy that in January? Well, we've said already, I think definitely need a new forward through the door to help Ollie more than anything else, to share the load and also share the goals, because if Ollie isn't going to get into double figures this season, then yeah, it's a problem, because I also don't see McGinn hitting double figures. I don't see who else can we talk about, be it Sancho or Buendia. I think they'll definitely play their part, and that's what we want from them. But setting those expectations of Buendia hits 10, McGinn hits 10, so on and so on, just to make it for Watkins' lack of 19 or so, yeah, it's an issue. So it's something that will have to be rectified. Hopefully that is from Watkins himself. He obviously scored twice against Brighton, hasn't scored in the last 3 games since then. If he plays against United and gets another goal, then all of a sudden you think that changes the dial a little bit. We're kind of approaching that stage again, I think, for Watkins of he scored twice, but he hasn't really shown too much since then. If we can get that another goal, then all of a sudden he's scored, in 2 of Villa's last 4 or 5 games, and that is relatively sustainable throughout the season. If he can continue to do that, he'll get around double figures or maybe more. But yeah, of course it's a problem, and I am worried about it. But Villa, in terms of scoring goals, they're not well off the pace, and they're not just getting lucky, nicking games here and there. Against Brighton, we scored 4. Against Arsenal, the best defence in Europe, they suffered their highest expected goals against Villa. Wolves, we obviously have to kind of grind them down because it was the best performance of the season. And then the last game we played, we scored 3 goals as well against West Ham away from home. So I'm not majorly worried, but the striker for me does have to chip in, because there will be games like Bournemouth last season, like in other matches too, where you count on them to be on the end of something at the back post in the 80th minute, just to get over the line.
Right, give us another topic then. I think there's a couple left.
Let's go with Bailey's at Christmas.
Bailey's at Christmas from Alan Wright's Butler. Is there a world just quickly on the names for the mailbag? We had Alan Wright's barber at one point, obviously because Alan Wright has no hair, as a joke. And then every so often we'll get Alan Wright's something else. I'm curious to whether that's the same person or are there different people doing the same gag? I
would suggest so.
Yeah. Anyway, is there a world where we have Leon Bailey back in January, depending on how much wiggle room, Alan Wright's Butler Sport, wriggle room or wiggle room?
Wiggle room.
I always say wiggle room as well, but maybe it is wriggle room.
No, it's wiggle.
Wriggle is harder to say. Depends how much wriggle room we have and what's available. Don't think it would be the worst option for the right wing slot. Gesson has struggled, but he isn't a right winger from what I see. Unai has found a way of playing without that option, but good to have options, and an injury to Cash would cause huge issues to the new setup. One last Leon dance.
Going over old ground here, but last season I said a lot that Bailey, in terms of what he gives you, it works for the structure of the team, doesn't it? Gesson at the moment isn't quite doing that same thing, but Bailey won't be coming back in January. I'm pretty sure of that, to play for Villa. I mean, he's not having a good time of it at Roma, really. He's obviously scored against Celtic, right? Or was that ruled out? I can't remember. We haven't sent Bailey out on loan and he's tearing it up in Italy and we should bring him back. It's not that. It's because Gesson doesn't fit. But I think you're better off trying to get something out of a player who you've signed for a chunk of money rather than go back to an old player who was happy to move on. So, no is my answer, but I'm not also not suggesting that we should just stick with Gesson and it will all be okay. I'm intrigued about Alisson, obviously the Brazilian right winger. Not expecting a whole lot from him, but how will he adapt and cope? We've obviously seen some players come into the Villa team and very few would expect to kind of hit it off as quick as they did. Morgan Rogers, one example. John Duran, not as quick as Rogers, but absolutely played his part at a young age, not long after leaving the MLS. So yeah, for different reasons, we'll see how that one goes. And that is more of the profile I want to see from our right winger. Again, whether it's something that Villa can address in January, I'd be surprised, just because if you're going to sign this Brazilian kid and then bring in another, having already signed Gesson, it's a bit it may be too much considering there's also other areas of the team I think we need to do something in. But no, I wouldn't bring Bailey back and whatever. Do whatever we need to do with Gesson. I don't know. I think you assess Gesson for me next season. I think January is a bit too early still to say, okay, maybe he needs a loan out. I think it's next summer that you look at that and reassess that. Then if there's no development from now until then, I think, conversations need to be had, because it's not ideal for the player either if he's stagnated or whatever.
Yeah.
Ultimately, Emery sees these players every day. He picks them for different reasons, and we can only give our opinion on what we see, based on some games, which is never the full picture.
Okay, final one in the mailbag, John. I'll let you do the honours.
Sure, let's go for, the last one. United Kryptonite.
United Kryptonite. Okay. I've been a season ticket holder since 2008. I missed Emery's first home game against United when I beat them.
Oh, no.
I was at the game last season and it was completely miserable. They were far worse and we still couldn't beat them. I'll be at the game Sunday and I'm absolutely desperate to see us beat them at home. Our form right now is incredible and we're finding different ways to win, and United seem to be our kryptonite. It's another big game at home, another opportunity to keep distance from teams behind us. So what do we need to do to ensure we get another 3 points? That's from Thomas Sorensen. Shame you missed the game, Thomas Sorensen. Thomas Sorensen. What a blast from the past. Yeah. I wanted to use this as a bit of an in for predicted 11 and a score prediction. What do we need to do to try and beat them? Is it just keep doing what we're doing? Play our own game.
Honestly, play to our level, and I think we will beat them. I hate to talk like this, but I am. Should I say this or not? I am I think we can win. I think we can win. It's mad, isn't it? Win 9 games in a row. So, you're going for the Big Ten. You're going to maybe cut the gap to Arsenal. Who knows? I mean, they're playing Everton team who have got players missing. So, anyway, it's set up, as it often is, it's set up for Villa to get a result. Maybe we can nick a draw. Yeah. I don't know. I do feel confident about it. But I've said this to a few people, that if we don't win and if we lose, I think I even said in this podcast, I don't even know whether I need to criticise anyone or do. It's just some voodoo stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like it gets to a point where maybe this is just a simulation. Do you know what I mean? Like, where'd you go from here if we don't beat them on Sunday? So no, I say that United's record isn't that bad at the moment. Again, lost once in a while. Won the last 2 away games. We're not playing a crap side. We're not playing a crap United side. Those things have happened before and we haven't beaten them. So I don't think we should just expect to win. But I am confident of winning, mainly because of the players that they're missing. And it's a massive opportunity to win. And we haven't spoken about this yet, but if they are missing both Maguire and De Ligt as well, that's a big miss for them, because their defence, you'd be looking at Luke Shaw, Diogo Dalot, Aidan Heaven and Lenny Yoro. I don't think that's ideal for them. And the way that they play, they can be exposed at the back. And I don't think they'll be keeping a clean sheet against us if they are missing Maguire and De Ligt. Even if they're playing, I expect us to score at least once. So I think if we can be limiting their chance creation, I think that gives us a great chance. And without Mbeumo playing, I think, that's that goes some way. Their danger man for me is Cunha, though. I do like Cunha. I think he's a really good player. And we saw last season as well when he played for Wolves, the kind of, not necessarily out of nowhere, but he has that ability to shift the ball and strike. And I think he caught, was it Martinez off guard? I think pretty sure Martinez was in goal when we beat him 3-1 last year, Wolves, in front of the whole end. It was just like a snapshot in the corner. And it was like, oh, okay. He's got talent. So, yeah, there's a few players to watch, but I think Cunha is the main man. If we can stop him and stop the supply, then I think we'll have a chance. Mason Mount's also playing okay at the moment. So, yeah. Do you want a score prediction?
I want a team news first. Obviously, Sancho on loan for United, so can't play. Lindelof can play as a free agent, but was previously at Man United and probably will play. Obviously, Emery will have his presser on Friday, so there'll be more updates there, but expecting that Pau Torres won't be available, is what he said last week, so should be the same. Martinez, I think he'll probably be back for this one. Last game before Christmas in a big game at home.
Yeah, this is the only sort of question mark going into the game. From what we know from the previous days. Back problem, see how he is, basically. And Emery's hopeful that he can train, but we'll see. He's obviously missed the last 2 games. Played against Arsenal, but then wasn't fit enough to play against Basel or West Ham. So hopefully he can get through it. But as I said before, if he's not fit and he's not ready to play, I don't want him to play. I'd rather have his up.
It is different as well because Villa will probably know, obviously more than they'll let on, since the last game. Bezot's definitely playing against Man United, so they'll have prepared all week with that in mind anyway. So don't want to say it's not a big deal because it still would be, but
no, it's not. We said before, Bizot is an understudy to Martinez. It's fine. I don't think Villa can get better than Bizot to Martinez, if that makes sense. There's always going to be a drop down because Martinez is a great goalkeeper, and for a team like Villa, it's not Real Madrid or PSG or these huge clubs that can pay massive wages for a backup keeper. Even with Villa aren't in that space yet, so it's okay to have Bizot as the backup. And if that is the case, I don't think any Villa fan will be nervously trembling, thinking, "Oh dear." With respect to Olsen, it's a different situation now.
Yeah, let's say Martinez for the sake of this. Yeah. Cash, Konsa, Lindelof, Maatsen.
Based on the last teams, you would put Maatsen in there, which is an interesting topic in general. And I think it's more how Villa have now adapted slightly in the last few weeks. That Maatsen is coming in for Dean to offer something different, a different profile at left back.
Do you think maybe the extra bite in midfield that it's been Onana, Kamara, Tielemans allows you to have a more attacking left back, maybe?
Yeah, there's definitely truth in that. But for him to play the last 3 league games, again, clearly Emery, as we know, is slightly tweaked what Villa are doing. And then to bring Dean out, a player who was being so solid, I think, for Villa and being one of my most consistent players, to be fair, and being very underrated too, I think. I like Maatsen more as a profile of left back, but in this game, if you ask me, I'd probably rather have Dean.
Would you?
I would, but if Emery is going to play in a certain way that suits Maatsen's game more, then yeah, fine to have Maatsen. And as I say, his last 3 league games he's started, hasn't he, Maatsen? So, if he plays, then fantastic. No problem.
Yes, the midfield takes care of itself. McGinn right, Watkins up front, I think.
This is the kind of the big talking point, I suppose. It's, does Marlon play maybe instead of Watkins? I don't think he would, but more so as that kind of dovetail role to Watkins. And that would then take away one of your midfielders, though, wouldn't it? Which I presume would be Onana.
I don't think we'll do that.
I don't think so, no. And I like Marlon off the bench as well. I say that because I don't think we have a whole lot on the bench to really impact the game. Yeah. Because you've got obviously a Buendia, you have Gesson as well, who would be on the bench. But apart from those two, you want something that's going to stretch a game or scare a defence. But I don't think those players do that necessarily. Buendia can change a game, but in a different way to Marlon. And if they're both on the bench, then that's 2 strong options.
Yeah, I like the idea, and this is very kind of football manager of Man United are going to make changes on the right-hand side. So Maatsen and Rodgers on the left, that could cause them some kind of difficulty. And then you have got a Buendia or a Marlon or I was going to say or someone else, and then kind of run out of steam. But there are options there to change it. So
but it's a good point. I mean, who's United's right? Dallo, I guess, could play right back, but then I mean, that will be a problem for United. Which is a good thing for us to have Rodgers on that side.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, so there's ways in which we can come out of this with 3 points. There really is. It's just we have to get over the sort of mental block of playing against a team of apparently Galacticos.
Right, okay. Score prediction, John? What are you going to go for? What did we say last game? Did we even do one for West Ham? Can't even remember.
I don't remember. I got one right the other day. Arsenal, I think I got right.
In my document, the last one I've got is Leeds, so I've not even been keeping track of it.
Slacking, mate. I don't think I said 3-2.
No.
You go first.
I think we'll win.
I'm going to go 3-2 Villa.
3-2 Villa? Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah. I do think there will be goals in it as well. I'm going to go slightly more reserved. I'll go for the age-old 2-1, the most common scoreline prediction in football history ever.
Yeah.
You've got everybody listening, deep down, you've got to be backing us to win. I know we all get the context around it, and of course, if Villa were to end this run, who is going to be the opposition? Of course, it's going to be Man United, horrible bastards.
Yeah.
Deep down, the opportunity for 10 in a row at home, the changes they've got to make, the form that we're on, you've surely got to be going. If you go into the game on Sunday, you've got to be going. You know what? The
more you talk about it, the more you think, probably not then.
I know, it's mad.
You know what I mean? It's mental.
Why though? Why?
If you flip it around and say that they've won all of their away games this season and they're in terrific form and Buemo isn't going to Africa, I think then you'd probably say, well, you know what, maybe it's going to reverse somehow. But yeah,
nonsense, isn't it? Football predictions.
It's nonsense, but it's not in this situation because the stats are there.
Okay, final one. I've mentioned it a couple of times. I'm going to use this entry from the mailbag to plug the Christmas quiz. No better time to be playing United, says Dr. Tony's financial advisor. We should be winning easily, but we all know that's not the Villa way. If we get 6 points from the next 3, that'll be massive. By the way, the Christmas quiz was hilarious. Keep up the great work. What a lovely hat this is, by the way. John, the Christmas quiz came out on Wednesday. We premiered it on YouTube as a live that people could watch along and play along with in real time. Got a great reaction. People really enjoyed it. What was your thoughts on it, John? Did you enjoy it?
Can I? Yeah, no, I did enjoy it. Yeah, it's always a good laugh, and we obviously played the second part of it. The second year, so we're trying to get revenge, which is worth watching for that reason. But no, yeah, it's good fun. Some good quiz questions from Matt, and some utterly bizarre games that we had to play as well, which is completely normal on the Claret Blue podcast.
Yeah. Bizarre for like everybody else, but like completely standard for us, and specifically for Kendrick. No, it was good fun. No spoilers in this, but if you want to go back and watch that, I suspect it's the kind of content that people look at and go, "Oh, I finished work on Monday. Like I'll save that for the big telly." Like,
and how do they feel after they watch it?
Depressed. It was great. If you haven't had a chance to go and watch it yet, please do. I'm going to edit the trailer into this video for those that are listening on. For those that are watching on YouTube, they obviously know it, which is fine. It's one point. Get over it, lads.
Sorry, I feel I've stitched you there by making it too difficult. It's a fairly safe guess that they're going to get it wrong based on previous experience.
Still won last year, though, didn't we?
Do you want to give Ty a ring or something? Oh.
It's round to being a joke, to be honest, Matt.
He's lost it. His head's gone. Myself and Matt Kendrick will be back for the post-match show on Sunday evening. That will be the final game, obviously, that we cover before Christmas, but it may not be the final video that we do before Christmas. So keep an eye on the channel next week. John, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Claret Blue podcast, and we'll see you Sunday.